Hey guys, what's happening? And ladies, if you guys have watched any of the current episodes, you will see the cab chillin', engine chillin', chassis. This is one of Aaron's jobs, and I'm gonna help him with it today because we're really excited to get it done. Right, babe?
That's right. We're gonna get it done.
So, tell them the story on this. I'm gonna hand it over to Aaron.
Are you actually gonna hand it over?
Yeah, it's going to you.
So, the story on this. If you remember Max, we built a blue wagon for him with the LS swap, and that was fun.
The 63 wagon.
The 63, yeah. So this belongs to Max's dad. It's 2007 Dodge 6.7 Cummins, and he basically bought this thing. It had been broken down, and he bought it from a dealership just as a project. And it sat for his place at, I guess, 2 years or something, waiting for him to get around to it. And he found out I did this stuff, so he hired us. Now, that's been a few months ago because we've been very busy with just life. That's the way things go, working on the Nova, traveling, things like that. But it's time now for the new year to get some of these old projects cleaned out. This engine came out of a donor truck, but it ran really good. And the other one, the head was missing, and it was rusted up, and the cylinders were rusted up. So I didn't feel like I could go make anything out of that without spending a ton of money. So we bought this dude and threw it in here. And today we're going to hook up some wires, set the cab back down on it, and if we're lucky, if we have time, we're going to get it cranked up. It's no big deal, right? Doesn't look like that big of a project to get done in one day.
Totally doable.
So this thing may not start up today because I'm missing the turbo gasket. I didn't even think about it. I knew I needed it, but I didn't think about it. And so I'm going to drive 40 minutes to go see my buddy Waylon over at the Dodge dealership and get a gasket.
Aaron just left to go get parts, and I have been enjoying doing some organizing and cleaning in the shop. When it begins to clean out and I have space to put stuff back where it goes, it's so nice to just kind of get it all back nice and tidy. So that's what I've been doing, and in about an hour I'm going to leave and go meet my mom and sister and some other ladies in my family at a really awesome spa that we have in Dallas called King Spa, and we love going there. So anyway, that's gonna be really nice and rejuvenating, and Aaron will probably work all day tomorrow on this truck without me. I really wanted to crank it up tonight, but it just wasn't in the cards.
Well, it's day 2, trying to get this Cummins started. Here is the gasket that I was missing. And Emily's not here. She's actually, luckily, up in Dallas with her family at the spa. All the women like to go do that every once in a while, and Emily doesn't get a chance to very often, so I'm glad she's there enjoying that. All of the bell housing bolts are in. Also, through this window here is where we bolt up our torque converter bolts. They are all in, and I'm about to install this turbo on here. Here we go. Time to put this heavy bastard on here. You work on heavy stuff, and you're scrawny like me, this Jimmy bar will be your very best friend. True. So I have something I want to show you. These exhaust down pipes can be a pain in the butt to get on. It's hooked all the way to the back. It's still bolted up and everything, or still in the hangers. And a lot of times that makes it really difficult to get pulled up in place and get the clamp on it and everything. So I'm going to show you my favorite way of hooking those up. What I'm going to do here is I've got a ratchet strap, and I'm basically going to find a point to hook this, or either sometimes I'll wrap it around and kind of double it back, and it'll pinch it and grab it so I can hook it onto something. And so on this one I have a hanger that goes down here and bolts to the engine, and so I'm going to wrap my strap around that and then just hook it back on itself like that, so I have something to grab onto. Then I'll find a place up here to hook. If we're lucky, that'll be strong enough without bending. We'll just have to watch it. on there and bolt it up. Well, the belt's on, and now I'm going to go get the fan, spin that sucker on. It's real easy. There's plenty of clearance between the fan and the front of the cab as it comes down, so we're going to go ahead and get that out of the way while it's easy to get to. This is a tool that I rented from O'Reilly's. You know, they have that deal where you can rent some tools, and if you want to keep them, you just keep them. You don't get your money back, but if you want to take them back, you can get your cash back. So it's pretty cool. It's the only way I found to do this. Just put it on there when you're taking it off. You want to be sure and leave the belt on it and just hit it as hard as you can, and it'll spin those fans off.
Okay, I'm back out in the shop with Aaron.
Fans on, belt's on, all the wires are hooked up. There's a red thing behind it. We need to put a battery in, air tire up.
Bronco.
The Bronco. And back it out.
Okay.
And we need to roll this back.
Okay.
Get it lined up, and then drop it down on here.
Oh my gosh. There's the red thing. Betty Boop the Bronco with a flat tire. She's gonna get some love on this season, you guys. I'm excited. Stay tuned, because it's coming up on the next full In the Shop with Emily episode. Aaron did a 6BT swap on that truck, like, well, I guess you can't call it a truck, it's a Jeep. I don't know, how long has it been, Aaron? 5, 6 years?
I think it was 4 years last time we saw the Facebook update.
Okay, 4 years, it feels like longer than that. So that thing needs to be finished, and we will be working on it on the next full In the Shop with Emily episode, so you have to stay tuned because that truck is so cool. I said truck again, dang it. Next step is to try and roll the truck backwards. Both of these front tires are super worn out and dead, and they have terrible splits in them. And so we don't even want to put air in them because we're kind of intimidated they might explode. So that's going to make it harder to roll with having low tires.
Yeah, I've had 2 tires explode on me, both of them 18-wheelers, both while I was down airing them up, and it's such a force. I like rubber embedded in my face, blew my glasses off, flipped me back, and so call me fancy if you want, but I'm just done with tires that pop. So we're going to try not to tear those up.
Holy crap.
We did move it. Okay.
Oh, balls.
So we're trying to get this mount here. I've got an idea.
Tie some string to it, let it dangle.
What?
What?
Why would you do that? Yeah, that's my idea.
Well, I thought it was good. Yes! Oh, is that it?
I think that's it. Can you hold it there for a second?
Yeah, let me just stick your foot under it.
Yeah, let me do it.
Use my foot as a chalk. That's always smart. Finley, come here, let me use you as a chalk.
Details, the cab's removed, it's light. It's probably only 6,500 pounds now.
Okay, it's chalk now?
Yep.
Sweet. So the body is now sitting on the frame, but it's still a little bit tweaked. We've gone forward and backward trying to get it aligned, and we pretty well have the bolt hole aligned, but it's kind of off to one side. So we're putting a ratchet strap to kind of see if we can get it tweaked back over to where it needs to be. Okay, I would stop there. Cool, ratchet strap works, babe. Dang, that's exciting. Boom. The safety glasses. You're gonna get your hair caught in that creeper. Aaron's given me the task of installing the ABS brake module right here. It's at the back of the battery box, and it bolts to it. He gave me a couple of bolts that he thinks are the right bolts, but this thing is bolted to all these hard lines, and they're kind of bent up, so it's not wanting to go into its place just when I wiggle it around. So it's going to be kind of fun to get it here, but I'm up for it. Yeah, bolts work. That's good. I don't know if you can see the amount of rat poop, I'm going to use a nice word, there is in the battery box, but it's all there. The way it's bent, it only wants to let me get to one of the bolt holes, not both of them, so I got to be patient. Get it in there. Oh, that's because it does go in angle. Cool. I was just looking at the bolt holes there and realizing that it does bolt up at an angle. So I was thinking it was just bent at that angle and that it didn't actually bolt in at an angle, but it does bolt in at an angle. Okay. Top bolt is started again. Alrighty. ABS module is bolted in. Okie dokie. Tightening the bolt on the steering rod. Stuff's coming together. Okay, both engine and transmission harness are plugged in and tightened down. Yes. Going in. Me and hardline. We have an understanding. They teach me patience. It's my job to appreciate it and the lessons they bring me. Yeah, it is. It's a gift that they provide. Power steering lines. Check. Connecting the batteries.
Ooh. About that time, isn't it?
Pretty exciting.
Yeah, those are the last two sensors that I can find.
So we've got our trans cooler hooked up so our lines don't squirt fluid everywhere.
Yep.
That would have made a mess.
I had done it. I can confirm it would have made a mess. Nah.
Who's gonna hit the key?
I'm
Me.
going to.
You are?
Yep.
I figured you would want me to so you could watch it all unfold.
No, because I just want to listen and see if the fuel pump is going to kick on. When I hit the key, nothing really happens. Yeah, I'm not getting feed out of the cab for some reason.
Dang it. We're gonna have to call it a night. We have two issues. Right now, we've got the fuel pump that is being really lame. So even with Aaron trying to start it with the test light, his fancy test light, it wouldn't start. But the other main problem is when we hit the key, nothing happens. The starter is totally off board.
That's,
right?
Yeah, that's solvable. The problem is we have mice turds in it. So who knows
Hopefully they didn't
what
go munching.
happened. Yeah, if they started eating stuff in there, then there's no telling. But it sounded like it was spinning over good. when I did it manual with my power probe, and the fuel pump just
Power
sounds
probe.
funky. You know it.
Yeah, the fuel pump sounds weird, so we got to get some parts for her, but we shall prevail. This truck will not get the best of us.
Yeah, it's easy.
We got this.
No biggie.
No biggie.
Well, it's the next day, and I'm going to pull that fuel pump out. Now, I've got to drop the tank. You know, easy way to do it, and the way a lot of people do it, I think, is to pull the bed off. But because I have the cab kind of halfway on there now, I don't have the lift available to do that. So what I'll do is just drop the tank down. I need to clean it out anyways. The truck's been sitting for a while. And so, yeah, that's what we'll do this morning. So there's the tank. It's a big dude, I believe about 35 gallons. We have a couple hoses going to the top. That is your vent and your fill up. So I basically have to take those two hoses off, and then there's a group of wires, and then you have a bolt here that holds a strap up, and then another one back there. I am completely wedged up underneath this thing, trying to get this hose off and that hose off. Oh, sweet. So I got those two off. Bam and bam. I sound like Freiburger there, but not as cool. That was an accident. I've been watching too much roadkill. Now let's get the wires. Okay, these clips are pretty simple. If I can get it spun around, there's just two little tabs. There it is. Now you can see those two hoses are off and that plug is off. I'm pretty excited to get out of here. Now that those plugs are off, let's get on the other side and pull those strap bolts off and see if this thing will drop down. I bet it will. Now, this is a plastic tank, and I know that it doesn't have very much fuel in it. Otherwise, I would be using a different kind of jack to put some pressure on it, because the weight of that fuel might actually push through the bottom, cause the jack to push through it. So just be aware of that. I don't have much fuel in it, otherwise I would not be doing this. All right, tank's down, but I can't get it out from under there, so I had to jack it up some.
Rolling.
It was a good idea to get some air pressure and blow all this dirt off here, because the minute you take it loose, it's going to fall in the tank. And there it is. That's the pump. Little bitty tiny thing in there. Aside from a little dirt that I knocked in there, I don't see any other contaminants like water, or sometimes this diesel fuel will slime after a little while. It actually grows algae in it, which is strange, but it'll do it. If you guys don't know what a power probe is, we're not getting paid by these guys or anything. This is just something I'm really excited about. This is, it hooks to your positive, negative side of the battery. It has a rocker switch on it where you can feed 12 volts, or in this case 13, through the probe. You rock the switch backwards and it'll feed negative. And if you feed positive to something, it's got a circuit breaker in it that pops instead of burning it up. But the other cool thing is, this clamp is constantly negative. So you can clamp this to one side of light bulb, send it 12 volts, and test it that way. You can also clamp this on like a fuse, and then touch the other side, and it'll indicate a ground. And so I'll show you, if you're testing wires, if you touch it on the ground, it gives you a green light and a sound, and then touch it on a positive, it gives you what volts, a red light, and then a different sound. So it's really cool when you're testing wires and you're trying to figure out if something has power or doesn't have power, especially because it actually gives you the volts. So you know, if it only has 9 volts and it's supposed to have 12, that may be why it's not working right. But probably my favorite thing is what I'm about to use it for. So I can clamp the negative on one side of this fuel pump here, and I can send it 12 volts and check to see if it's working. And the pump is spinning. There we go.
Before I update you on what's going on with the Dodge, I'm going to update you on what's going on with these. We went to the eye doctor this morning.
She's behind. She can't see.
The eye doctor legit asked me if I drove there.
People always ask me how I got this girl. Because she can't freaking see. It may not work out now that she got fixed.
That was good. No, I've got contacts in now, and I think you're just as handsome.
Good.
Yeah, so see the glare on his lenses? I paid extra to maybe not have glare on my lenses. I can't believe I'm going to have to wear glasses. Dang it.
Will they stay up? Or are they going to fall down?
Oh my God. These are going to be things I'm going to have to deal with. But one of the things that pushed me over the edge was I'm going to be emceeing at Zip Tie Drags for Roadkill. In Tucson, Arizona in a couple of weeks, and it hit me, what if I can't see the track times at the end of the track? Because my vision has been, in my mind, slightly fuzzy. Turns out it was a little more than that. Anyway, so that really pushed me over the edge, and I was like, I guess I'll go get them checked, and if I need some slight correction. So anyway... Okay, talk about the truck, babe. Tell them.
I want to talk about the eye doctor that said, you didn't drive here, did you?
I told them that. I said that.
Yeah, I want to talk about it again, though. It's funny.
Not funny.
All right, the Dodge. I don't know what's wrong with it. We're going to send it off to Dodge and have them fix it.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. You're right. So here's the deal. The starter's not working. Easy. I guess you guys have seen at this point that I had to power probe it to get it to work. And so I'm not getting a good signal from the cab out to it. That's not a big deal. The big deal is the fuel pump, when you turn the key on, it goes dut, 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 dut. And it's supposed to go, aww. It's not doing that. So I tested the pump. I took it out, dropped the tank, took it out, tested it, and it works great on the power probe, but when I plug it back in, it doesn't do that. So I'm thinking maybe there's something wrong with the ECM because that's what feeds it. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to have to check the relay and just go through a whole massive stuff. I never had the truck while it was running. And like I've said in the past, there are mouse turds in the battery box, and there's unlimited possibilities. So I just have to start where we are and start testing stuff. And this, I'm not an expert at this, so it's going to take me twice as long as most people, but I think we'll figure it out. We have to. We need a paycheck, guys. This is how we make our living.
Here's the donor truck. Totally just like was hit from behind. Crunch.
Hit by a cement truck.
Hit by a cement truck.
That was going 80. It pulled out in front of it.
That hurt.
It knocked the welding bed.
This guy's really talkative. We hear you, buddy. Yeah. Anybody need a race boat?
Got it.
Good job, babe. Your glasses. Oh, I'll feel the pain soon, I guess. The glasses. Come on, Finley, let's go. There's Zen still broken down because Aaron twisted 2 U-joints, hitting second gear, and there's Nova. Hello, pretty lady.
We found it. Day 3 of trying to start it, and I think it's about to start.
He found it.
There's actually a ground strap down on the bottom that when whoever took it apart originally had broken that ground strap, and it took me forever to find it. I actually found it when I was switching that ECM out. It kind of fell down in front of my field of vision, and so I figured that must go somewhere, and I tested it. It showed to be a kind of a half-assed ground, if that makes any sense. And so I grounded it fully, and everything started working.
Dude.
So now the pump comes on, the starter works, and Emily's out here. She's been in the house doing some cleaning up, but she's here so we can try to start it.
Dang, I'm so pumped. Nice job, babe.
Hey.
Man, you're good.
All right.
I'm ready to hear this thing fire up.
Yeah. Hopefully the batteries are hot enough. But yeah, just spin it a little bit. It's gonna, like, basically you want to bump the starter to get
Yeah.
the fuel pump going.
Okay.
And then we'll do that, cycle it a handful of times, and that'll allow us to get some fuel up here.
Hello. Hi, y'all.
Hey. All right, try it. Yeah, watch out for that. Go ahead and spin it a little bit and see.
Okay.
If it starts, watch the oil pressure real closely and shut it back off.
Hey, Elias, say hi to the camera.
Oh.
Oh.
Hi.
You might have to jump to get in it. That worked. All right,
We're
watch
getting
out.
ready to crank this Dodge, y'all, for the first time.
Watch out for the fan and spin it. Balls.
Oil pressure was just over 40.
Nice.
Dang, babe. Sweet. Aaron's the man.
There you have it. She runs. We're not going to bore you guys with the details of installing the radiator and all that junk.
Coolant system, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we can't go drive it because the tires are junk on it. I think we showed you that they're so dry rotted, I don't want to
So
air them
bad.
up. And so it's going to go on the trailer, go back to its owner. He's going to put tires on it and get it up and running, clean it up and all that stuff. But we're done.
Yep. I'm looking forward to the next Main in the Shop with Emily episode, which will be that Wagoneer. And that's got an older style Cummins in it. It's got the 6VT.
Yes, NV 4500 transmission, 5-speed, rock solid. I believe it's a 205 transfer case. Also, badass transfer case. Heavy duty engine.
Really, really
It's
cool
gonna be
Jeep.
good.
So watch for that episode coming up. We'll start on that Jeep soon.
Yeah.
And hope you enjoyed this episode like we did. See you next time.